Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm up to a whole new adventure. I got drawn for a management hunt here at the Missouri Forest 44 Conservation Ground. And I'm gonna do a little bit of scouting today. You're not allowed to scout while there's any of the hunts going on, and today's 9 days until the bow season opener. So I'm gonna try to get this done so I don't gotta worry about it any later. Mark some spots for me and my climber. I drew the December 1st through December 31st archery hunt only. Here on the Forest 44 Conservation Ground. So I'm gonna do some scouting and see if I can't figure out a good place to go. Maybe give a couple helpful tips that I'm using that maybe if you ever get drawn for a hunt, or if you hunt a lot of public ground, maybe that will help you out. And I'll give you my advice of what I think will help me be successful later on this late season. We got water flowing in the creek today. I was here one time before on a miserably failed trip. I got covered in seed ticks. But this was completely dry. We actually have had a very, very wet Labor Day weekend. Forest 44 is right next to a huge horse farm where people ride horses and ride these trails with horses. I'm not 100% sure they are able to ride through all this during deer season or what. So in my head, I'm trying to take precautions where maybe I won't get interrupted by somebody riding a horse. It's totally fine. Obviously, I don't know this, so it's open for the public to do many things, but I'm trying to keep that in the back of my mind that, hey, these horse trails, even though I got this big opening with tons of thick cover right now, it's gonna look really different come December. Maybe I wanna be a little bit off the beaten path, because if people are coming by here on horses, if I got some deer, they might be a little skittish, they may not like it, could spoof a hunt, just something to think about. Amongst all the horse tracks, there's still deer tracks. If you are going far into the woods, you're most likely gonna lose a lot of people because, for one, they don't wanna drag their deer that far, and two, they don't wanna put in the effort to go this far because it is a lot of work to get out this far, but it may be worth your time and worth your while. So right now I'm heading up the hill, finally kind of getting more into the thicker hardwoods. And I'm trying to keep my eyes on some trees, not only for my climber, but for oak trees, white oaks, red oaks, black oaks, you know, where there may be some leftover acorns come December. All right, I made it to a part of a hill which is actually really open. It's not got too much underbrush, and you got to remember that all of this is going to be dead and gone come the time I get to hunt, December. So, but knowing that it's already this open, I think I'll be able to see really far in here. Now I'm looking for some oak trees. That might be a good setup. This big tall tree in front of us is a white oak, and there's gonna be lots of acorns hitting the ground this fall, and this might be a good spot to eat. It looks like about 50 yards up the hill, we come to a ridge. There could be a white acorn flat, which could be a perfect honey hole late December. This tree right here behind me is looking like a pretty good tree for my climber. If you know anything about climber stands, the one downfall is the tree has to be fairly decent sized, fairly straight, and not a ton of branches. I'm only about 30 yards up from the big acorn tree that I saw from the path, and this gets me off the beaten path a little bit. This is a nice secluded spot that I marked on my map that I'm gonna try to come here and hang and hunt my climber and spend some hours in a tree here. I'll be able to see really well down the hill once a lot of this leaf coverage is gone, and I'm only about 30 yards from the ridge top. You could probably get some deer if they're not walking on the top of the ridge. They may pick the other side, or they may pick this side that I'm on, giving me an easy 15 to 20 yard shot. And I see a bunch more white oaks up there, which I gotta go explore and check this out. This is a really thick area with a lot of white oaks, so I feel like there's gonna be a really good chance for deer to come through here feeding sometime during the day, during the month of December. No joke, without going any further, I walked 10 yards away from the tree I just picked, and I come across this here deer path that's riding about 15 yards from the very top of the ridge. I think this could be a really excellent spot to get a good shot on a deer sometime this late season. Something I still have yet to come across, really, a good source of water. Up here in all these big hills, obviously if you go to the bottom of the hills where it flattens out, there's little waterways where water runs, but I haven't found any sitting water yet. So that could be a ticket, because these big hills with bucks chasing does around this kind of topography, you know they're gonna have to get some water. So if I can find a good water source way back here, further away from everybody else, that might be an advantage I'll have. Just walking back here, I was just talking about water, and I just spoofed up a doe just from bedding right here off the trail. So I'm gonna be trying to be a little quiet, see if I can't find another one, or see if I can't get better footage of this deer I just spooked and maybe why it was here. Well, that was a pretty fun encounter, to say the least. I didn't really expect anything right here along the horse path, but sure enough, little one must have been eating or traveling from one bed to another, and she darted and still had her spots. She didn't know exactly what's going on yet, so she just ran in the woods 15 yards. I was able to get pretty close to her. Yeah, pretty neat experience overall. Okay, I've come to a part of this path where we're on a high ridge, and there's lots of little thick growing trees. Now I know that all this is going to be bare come December, but this is still really good bedding, thick cover. And all these trees above us, a couple of them, quite a few of them are walnuts. They're going to lose their leaves very fast, and the sun's going to be able to beat right in here. And that's going to make some really nice spots for deer to bed when they're looking to get warm from the sun. So this is another good tactic to look for your south-facing hillside slopes when you get those really cold days, and where your sun canopy opens up. And you can tell right here, all this undergrowth, a lot of sunlight hits the ground in here. It's not just barren woods and dead leaves, a lot of green. Now granted, I know December will not have any of that, but it's telling me that that this opens up, and I'm gonna remember that come December. And even though I'm way back here, this is another spot. I see many trees that I could put a climber up in and have lots of good shot opportunities and lots of acorns all around. Check it out. Made it back here to a super big open flat. This would be another great spot to pop up my climber and sit and wait, because this is beautifully open flat. You'll be able to see a long ways in the woods come December. Walking up top along this ridge way in the back, coming along some last year's rubs. So we got deer up here rubbing up on these ridge tops. Obviously a good sign. If I had to guess at anything, I mean, they're obviously going to be back here. Looks like here's another one just right across the way. Last year rubs. This one's a really nice one, actually. Got rubbed to heck. There's another one just right over there. Heck, they're popping up all over the place. That one's on a pretty decent cedar tree. Check it out. That's last year's rub, I guarantee. I think I'm learning a common pattern when I get to these nice big ridge flat tops. Good sign, not only from last year, but it seems to be 10, 15, 20 yards off the central path is where these deer are doing a lot of their walking. I'm sure they come up and hit the main path, but these deer aren't dumb. They like to stay hidden. They like to stay off the path, so they have a less chance of running into other people or predators. So they have their path system 15, 20 yards off the main path. So I think I've learned that today. I hope that maybe you can use these tips to help maybe your next public hunt or managed hunt, and just things to remember whenever you're going to be out in the woods hunting or scouting. I just want to wish everybody good luck this year as deer season is approaching, and thanks for tuning into the video. And I will make sure to post some videos from our hunts in December out here, and to see how we do and to see if we can be successful. Until then, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed.